everybody, welcome back to Leah's Library. Today we're going to be reading 3 stories of Fancy Nancy. Fancy Nancy is so fun because she is just a little girl who loves to get dressed up as fancy as she can with bows and boas and lace and lots of hair ribbons, and it just makes her feel comfortable in her own body and happy. So we're going to get to share some of that happiness today with Fancy Nancy. The 3 books we're going to read, the first one is called Fancy Nancy, Fancy Day in Room 1A. The second one is called Fancy Nancy, My Family History. And the third one is Fancy Nancy and the Mean Girl. So let's get started. We're going to start with Fancy Nancy, Fancy Day in Room 1A by Jane O'Connor. Pictures based on the art of Robin Price-Glasser. Price-Glasser. I am peering out the window of my classroom. Peering is a fancy word for looking. It has rained all week. We can't play outside. Miss Glass is reading a story. Everybody looks glum and gloomy. That's a fancy way to say we are all in a bad mood. She puts down the book. Class, we need to do something fun to look forward to, Miss Glass says. Does anyone have any ideas? We all sit and ponder. That means we think hard. Clara says, "Let's go bowling." Robert says, "Let's go see a movie." Miss Glass says, "Those are interesting ideas, but let's think of something to do in school." At home, I ponder while I pick out a dress for tomorrow. I never feel glum or gloomy in this fancy dress. Being fancy is fun. It makes me happy. Ooh la la, all of a sudden, I have an idea. My pondering has paid off. The next day at school, I say, "What if we have a fancy day? We can wear fancy clothes and eat fancy food and use fancy manners." Lionel holds up his pinky. "Oh, darling," he says, "you must try the baked worms." Miss Glass looks stern. That means now is not the time to be silly. "I think it's a great proposal," Miss Glass says. She explained that a proposal is like an idea. Everybody else likes my idea too, even Lionel. "Next Monday will be Fancy Day," Miss Glass says. "We can start prepping now." We make fancy placemats. We make fancy napkin rings from pipe cleaners. We also make fancy crowns. Lionel makes the point of his crown look like bloody shark teeth. Ugh, he is such a goofball. At snack time, we put napkins in our laps. We chew with our mouths shut. When Robert burps, he says, "Pardon me." I teach everyone how to say thank you in French. It's merci. You say it like this. Merci. That evening, I tell my family about Fancy Day. It was my proposal. That means that it was all my idea. Over the weekend, Bree and I bake cupcakes for Fancy Day. Look at all that stuff on there. On Sunday night, I look through my wardrobe. That's a fancy for all of my clothes. I find my most fancy dress. I also wear boas and bracelets and tons of necklaces, lace gloves, sparkly hair clips in my hair. I am fancy all the time, so I must be super duper fancy on Fancy Day. On Monday morning, I am stunned. That means surprised. Everyone looks so posh. But where is Miss Glass? Why isn't she here yet? All of a sudden, Miss Glass rushes in. Her tooth broke this morning. A dentist already fixed her up. She is fine now. But she is not fancy. Miss Glass looks startled. That means surprised, only in a bad way. "Oh no," she cries. "I left all my fancy stuff at home." Soon it is party time, except we skipped a page. Here we go. We tell Miss Glass not to feel bad. "You can have my hair clips," I say, and Bree offers her boa. Everyone helps Miss Glass. Everyone helps dress up Miss Glass. It is like playing with a giant doll. In no time, she is super posh. Soon it is party time. Miss Glass says, "We must thank Nancy for Fancy Day." The kids all lift their cups of lemonade. Everybody's pinky is up. But no one says thank you. They all shout out, "Merci!" Fancy Nancy's fancy words. These are the fancy words in this book. Glum and gloomy means in a bad mood. Merci, thank you in French. You say it like this, merci. To peer is to look. Ponder means think hard. Proposal is an idea. Startled is surprised in a bad way. Stern means not pleased. Stunned is surprised. And wardrobe means all my clothes. The end. Well, that was a fun day at school. I think I would really like a day where I get to get dressed up all super fancy. Okay, the next book is called Fancy Nancy, My Family History. By Jane O'Connor, cover illustration by Robin Price Glasser. Interior illustrations by Ted Enoch. Do you know about your ancestors? They are people in your family who lived long ago. You say it like this, ancestors. Isn't that a great fancy word? We are writing ancestor reports in class. Bree is writing about her great-grandfather. He is 90. He was a war hero. Robert's great-grandmother is 100. She came to America on a ship. It almost sank. You are both lucky, I tell my friends. You know your ancestors. All of mine are deceased. That is a fancy for dead. That night, my grandpa calls. He is coming to visit soon. His parents are my great-grandparents. So I ask, were they famous? Did they have adventures? Grandpa says no. They were nice, ordinary people. Ordinary? That's like plain. I wish I had fancy ancestors. Later that night, Grandpa sends a photo of my great-grandfather. Grandpa's email says, my dad was the kind and honest. He only lost his temper once. I broke a teapot and blamed my sister. My dad wasn't upset about the teapot. He was upset that I lied. Your dad sounds like a very lovely person, I reply. Reply is fancy for answer. I'm going to write my report about him. I gather facts from Grandpa. My ancestor had 5 children. He was a bank guard. He liked to fish. He lived to be 74. The next day, I illustrate the cover. Illustrate is fancy for making a picture. Then I start writing my report. It begins. My great-grandpa was a bank guard. That does not sound exciting. So I add something extra. Once he stopped a bunch of bank robbers. Yes, that sounds very exciting. Next I write, my great-grandpa loved to fish. Then I add some more exciting stuff. One time he caught a shark. There it is. The next day, Clara and Yoko both read their reports. I do not mean to brag, but mine is way more interesting. After school, I tell my parents, on Friday, I get to read my report. My dad says, great. Grandpa is coming on Thursday. He can go to school with you. He is so proud that your report is about his dad. I forgot about Grandpa coming. All of a sudden, my tummy feels funny. I don't think he's allowed to come, I say. My mom looks at me. Of course he can come. Don't you want him to come? Upstairs, I show mom my report. I wanted it to be interesting, so I exaggerated. Exaggerate is a fancy word for stretching the truth. Honey, Mom says, you didn't just exaggerate. You made stuff up. That's lying. I remember the story about the broken teapot. My ancestor would be very upset with me. My grandpa would be too. By the time Grandpa comes, I have written a new report. This time, I stick to the plain truth. I write about the teapot. It is an ordinary story, but I really like it. On Friday, Grandpa comes to school. Whoa, camera, sorry. He has brought his dad's top hat. It's a real one, not like the one in my magic set. There's the train. My great-grandpa loved to get dressed up, I tell everyone. I must get being fancy from him. Fancy Nancy's fancy words. These are the fancy words in this book. Ancestors, people in your family who lived long ago. You say it like this: ancestors. Deceased means dead. Exaggerate means to stretch the truth. Illustrate means to make a picture. Ordinary means plain. And reply is a word for answer. The end. Well, that's kind of cool. Do you know anything about your family or any of your ancestors? It might be kind of fun to find out, huh? Maybe you can ask your mom or your dad or your grandma or your grandpa or your aunt, your uncle, or somebody in your family and find out a little about who the people were, your ancestors. All right, our last book today is Fancy Nancy and the Mean Girl. Written by Jane O'Connor, cover illustration by Robin Preece Glasser, and interior illustrations by Ted Ennick. I got all of these at the library, kids, so if you like Fancy Nancy books or any of the books on Leah's library, you can find them at your library. This Friday is field day. There are races and a picnic. Let me get my camera a little bit better. Almost everyone is excited, but one person is dreading it. That's fancy for hoping field day never comes. That person is me. Ms. Glass hands out our t-shirts. I am not on a team with my friends, but that is not why I dread field day. I prefer the red t-shirt. Prefer means I like it more than mine, but that's not why I dread field day. Here is the reason. I am not a good runner, and I am in the relay race. Last year, my team lost because of me. I got teased. At recess, Grace is wearing her t-shirt. It is green. Oh no, we're on the same team. Grace can be unkind sometimes. That's fancy for mean. I am in the relay race, Grace tells me. Are you? I nod. All Grace says is, rats. Now we'll never win. At home, I see the weather report. Maybe it will rain. Then field day would be canceled. That's fancy for called off. But it's not. It's going to be sunny and hot. Rats. Maybe if I practice a lot, I can get faster by Friday. Every afternoon, I run for hours. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is no use. I was born with slow legs. On Thursday at recess, I hear Grace say, "Ugh, I'm stuck in the relay race with Nancy. My baby brother runs faster than her." Isn't that unkind? It never feels good when people say mean things about us, does it? At lunch, I have no appetite. That means I'm not hungry. I don't even finish my cupcake. Field day is tomorrow. I am going to disgrace myself. That means I'll look like a fool. Lionel is so lucky. He broke his leg 2 weeks ago. He can't be in any races. Then I get a splendid idea. On the way home, I pretend to trip. Ow, ow, I say. I think I injured my foot. Injured is fancy for hurt. I limp home. I limp into the dining room. My sister helps me to the table. I tell my parents, I don't think it's wise for me to run in the relay race tomorrow. You'd better write a note. Later, my dad comes into my room. Nancy, is your foot really hurt? He asks. How can you ask me that? I say. Ugh, my own father doesn't even believe me. So my dad says, well, sometimes you limp on one foot and sometimes you limp on the other. All of a sudden, I start sobbing. Sobbing is like weeping, only much more noisy. I am a bad runner and a fibber. I tell my dad about the race and Grace. He understands. We talk for a long time. On field day, I am not limping. I wear my team t-shirt. I wear lace-trimmed socks for good luck. I cheer for my team. I am splendid at cheering. Soon it is time for the relay race. I go up to Grace. I do not use any fancy words. I will run as fast as I can, but if we lose, don't say mean stuff. You are a good runner, but you are not a good sport. Grace is speechless. That means she is so surprised she can't say a word. The relay race starts. Grace runs all the way to the cone and then starts back. She is way ahead of the other runners. Grace runs back and taps me. Now I start to run to the cone. I have a big head start. But soon the other runners go past me. I come in last, just like last year. We lose the race. I feel so bad. At the picnic, Grace comes over. Uh-oh. But guess what? All she says is, "Want a cookie? My mom baked them." So I say, "Merci," and take one. And guess what? My appetite is back. Fancy Nancy's fancy words. The fancy words in this book are appetite means hungry. Canceled means called off. To disgrace yourself means to look like a fool. Dread is not looking forward to something. Injure means hurt. Prefer means like one thing more than another. Sob means noisy weeping. Speechless is too surprised to say a word. Unkind means mean. Wise means smart and understanding. Well, there we go. Thanks, Fancy Nancy, and thank you, everybody, for joining me for some story time. Once again, if you like Fancy Nancy books or any of the books on this channel, you can just find them at your library. And also, if you have a favorite book that you would like me to read, if you want to put the name of the book and the author in my comments, I'll find it at the library and I will read that one on a show for you. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Oh, little Liza,